Hello and welcome to Change is Good. My name is Brian and here we have another box of half dollars. This time it has a 7306 stamp. Something a little different. Let's see what we got. This glue is not looking good. This may not happen on live camera. We'll see. Using scissors to cut this open. You can see they overglued it a lot on this box. All right, that's close to ready. Okay, we got it. Took a minute. Way too much glue on that box. Hope all the effort pays off. Let's see what we got here. I don't see any silver, at least not right off the bat. All right. That was fun. It has been a tough box. We're on roll number 14 and we have an NIFC. This one is a 2007 Philadelphia, mintage of 2.4 million. All right, let's get back to it. We're on the same roll and we have a pre-cud. Let's go to the scope. Under the scope is a 1971 Denver. These are notorious for having pre-cuds. This one is above the Y here, running rim to rim. At some point this would have broken off and formed a cud. These can also be found above the T here in Liberty as well. All right, let's get back to the hunt. We're on to roll number 20 and we finally got a variety. Let's go to the scope. Here we have the reverse of a 1972 Denver. If you look at the lettering here in States, it's extra thick. The bottom serifs of the S's are extra rounded. This one's extremely wide. This one over here is also pretty rounded as well. There's also splitting in it, but it's hard to see it. This is an uncirculated example, so it's extra shiny. But if you look at the bottom right corners of letters, you can see little notches. Like you can see one right here. And they kind of go all the way across the coin, especially over here in the word America. There are little notches here on the bottom right corners of all the lettering, all the way across. You can see a split right here on the R as well. This is DDR number 1 on Variety Vista. This is the more obvious of the two you can find because this one has a very, very wide serif here on the S compared to the other one. All right, let's get back to the hunt. All right, we're on roll number 21 and we got another variety. Let's go to the scope. Here we have a 1971 Denver. If you look at the letter I, you can see a split right here in the upper right. On the left side, both serifs are extra wide, especially down here at the bottom. And there's a kind of a bulge down here at the bottom. It's worn, but even without the wear, it would have a bulge down here. If you go over here to the word trust, the bottom of the R is also extra thick. There's normally some splitting here as well. It's kind of worn and it's hard to see it. The top of the U is also extra wide. You can even see a little split over here on the right-hand side right here. Now, this is the kind of variety a lot of hunters miss because there's no obvious splitting. But if you're not sure, just come up to the top of the coin and look at the letter T. It is a little bit wider than normal here, and there's splitting here on both serifs, the right and left of the T. And if you're still not sure, look at the E in Liberty over here. And look at this. You can see a split right up in here in this area, right there. This one is DDO number 13 on Variety Vista. I find these a lot. It's a pretty common variety. It's really easy to confuse with the other ones, but this one you can tell mainly by looking at the letter I, the way it's shaped, and where the mint mark is. All right, let's get back to the hunt. Roll number 23, and we're back on the varieties. Let's go to the scope. Here we have one of my favorites. This is a 1971 Denver. If you look at the I, you can see a nice big split on the upper right and some extra serifs here on the left, top and bottom. If you go over here to the word trust, it's even more obvious. Check out the splitting here in the bottom of the R, the top of the U, inside the S, all the way around, and the top of the T. And if you have this variety, and this isn't enough evidence for you, look at the T in Liberty up here. It's extra wide with really large split serifs on both sides. And if you go over here to the E in Liberty, you'll see an obvious massive split right here. And up here as well, on the top serif. This is DDO number 15 on Variety Vista. Like I said, this is one of my favorites for obvious reasons. Let's get back to the hunt. We're on roll number 24, and the varieties just keep on coming. Let's go to the scope again. Here we have another 1971 Denver. If you look at the upper right of the eye here, you'll see a nice little split right there, and a triple split down here at the bottom right. And the left serifs of the eye are squared and wide. Now, if you go over here to the word trust, you'll see it's a little bit thicker than normal. And the top of the U is kind of angled a little bit toward the upper right a little bit. Now, when you go up here to the T in trust, you'll see the left serif is wide and flat. This is a key diagnostic to determine this variety, which is the FS 102 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, or DDO number 6 on Variety Vista. This one also has a little notch right here on the S right here. All right, let's get back to the hunt. We're 2 rows later on roll number 26, and we've got another variety. Back to the scope. Here we have a 1973 Denver. If you look at the word N, you'll see little notches here in the bottom left corners of the lettering. If you look at the number 1 right here, you'll see a nice big split running right through here on the right side. And over here on the 9, you'll see the same splitting on the right as well, right in the inside curl, and here on the outside as well, right through here. There's also some extra thickness here in the word trust. A nice big split up here on the right leg of the R, notching here down here at the bottom. The U is extra thick with little notches up here at the top. A nice big notch here in the bottom of the S and at the top with a nice big split running right down the center of it. And right here in the 3, you can see a little notch right there. This is the FS 101 or DDO number 1 on Variety Vista. This is a Cherry Picker's variety. Pretty good find, even though it's in kind of rough shape. Let's get back to the box. We're now on roll number 40, and we've got another variety. Back to the scope. Here we have another 1971 Denver. Now, if you look at the letter I, you'll notice it's a different shape than the other ones we looked at before. This is because this is the font design that was used during the silver years before this. This was the last year it was used, and this is one way you can tell the difference between this dye variety and the other ones. And if you also look at the rest of the lettering, you'll see it's extra thick, as well as the date is also extra thick and wide. And if you go over here to the word trust, you'll see some notching all over the place. Right here, the bottom of the R, the top of the U, nice big split through the S all the way across it, and through the T as well at the top, and a notch at the bottom right. And if you go over here to the T in Liberty, you'll see it's extra wide with some splitting on both serifs. And if you go over here to the E, you can see a nice little notch right through here and a small one at the top. This is DDO number 9 on Variety Vista. It's very similar to DDO number 16, but the notching in the bottom of the letters is a little bit higher on this variety compared to the other one. This is also one of my favorite varieties to find. All right, let's get back to the hunt. We're on roll number 41, and this time it's not a variety, it's an NIFC. It is a 2003 Denver, mintage of 2.5 million. All right, let's get back to it. Roll number 44, another NIFC. This time it is a 2008 Denver, mintage of 1.7 million. All right, let's keep going. We're on roll number 48. We have one more NIFC. This time it is a 2020 Philadelphia, mintage of 2.3 million. All right, 2 more rolls to go. The last 2 rolls were a dud. I'll be back in a moment with a recap of the finds. And that box unfortunately had no silver, but it had a pretty good amount of finds, 11 in total. If you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something, please like, share, and subscribe. I thank y'all again so much for your support, and I'll see y'all again soon on the next hunt.